Imagine the irony of being the daughter of another man and wanting a father that was incarcerated because your sister got cards, letters for every birthday and holiday, and you got nothing. This was my experience. Daughters will make you cry for the little girl and you just like I did. Daughters captures a dance, but not just any dance. It's a dance with dad. A dance where young girls get to spend much needed time with their dads, even if it's for a little while. But here's the twist. The dads are incarcerated. Y'all haven't seen it? Run. Do not walk to go see Daughters. And it's on Netflix right now. Such a timely documentary that is really, really needed in today's time, and it really was needed when I was a little girl. Okay, Daughters, and oh, hold up. Let me tell y'all why it is needed. It is so needed because what little girl doesn't need her father? What little girl doesn't need her dad? You know, fathers instill that confidence in their little girls. Fathers, teach their daughters, not to go for anything that men tell them when they out and about. They just instill so many values, so many core values into their daughters mainly, and it's really, really needed in Black communities, in every community really, because a daughter needs her dad. A daughter needs her dad. And it's ironic because I didn't have my father growing up. He was in and out of jail, off and on, drugs or whatever. And I plan to do a video after this, about my father. But, growing up, and what's ironic about this documentary is that, they're going to see their fathers in prison. They're going to see their fathers in prison. They still have, connections with their fathers in prison. And I didn't have that growing up. And it's crazy. I had a better relationship with my younger sister's dad, my sister that's under me. I had a better relationship with her dad than I did with my own dad. It was to the point where, as though, I thought having her father as my father would be just the bee's knees. I had literally like asked my mother. I was like, "Oh, Mom, could I write a letter to, could I write a letter to her father, because I really want him to be my father." And I was like 6, 7 years old, talking about this. And I think it was only because I seen how her father genuinely cared for her and, genuinely was there for her, even though he was, quote unquote, behind the wall. He was locked up, and, we used to go see him, at DC jail, and he'd be behind the glass and we had to talk on these phones, but we couldn't touch him and stuff like that. Or he would be in a prison where we could touch him. But it had got to a point that my father really wasn't there for so long that I kind of envied my sister. And I was just like, in my head, I was just like, dang, she got a father, and he away, like he can't see her every day, but he makes sure, he's sending her Christmas cards. He's sending her birthday cards. Like every month she was getting something. And I thought that was just so awesome. Like, even though your father can't be here, he's here. And that kind of resurfaced in a documentary for me, and I'm telling y'all, if y'all go watch this documentary, it's gonna bring y'all to tears. It is really, really needed in this community because a lot of young girls don't have their father. A lot of young girls' fathers is in DC jail, and that's where the documentary took place. Um, it centers around 4 young girls. One, Aubrey, she's 5 years old. The other, Santana, she's 10 years old. And then we have well, what was the other girl's name? Hold on, y'all. Then we have Jayana, she's 11. And then you have Raziah, she's 15. So, like I said, this documentary is centers around 4 young girls. And these girls are, picked to, and it's a group of, maybe a group of maybe 20 girls that was picked to go inside DC jail and have, a dance with dad. That's what they were calling it. And a dance with dad was a project or a program actually funded and founded by a Miss Angela Patton. She brought the program about because she was real big on, instilling values and morals and all these different things into young Black girls that they might not get on a regular basis. So she happened to think of this, think of, get the girls together, think of, little activities that they would want to do. Somebody came up with a dance, a father-daughter dance. So one little girl in the group, said, well, I can't go to the dance because my father's in jail. So the other little girls was like, okay, since your father in jail, why don't we just bring the dance to the jail? So everybody can, enjoy a dance with their dad. So that's what they did. The project started in Richmond, Virginia. And I don't know how long after that it started in Richmond, Virginia, but they eventually advanced it to DC. They advanced it to DC, and when the documentary first comes on, you see Aubrey. She is
6 top tables, but she didn't teach me my 10 top tables, and I know all my 10 top tables. I'm the smallest one in my class. First it was 9 years, and then the police took away 2, and then it was 7. So it wasn't 9 or 8 years, it was 7.
The 5-year-old little girl, and she touched me so much. Her and her father's story, just touched me so much because she's very, 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 very smart and inquisitive. She's very, very aware, self-aware as well, of what's going on with her father as he's in prison. She know how many years he has to come home till he come home. She counting down, she waiting. Like, she is really, really smart. She really, really smart. She got all these awards and, plaques and stuff on the wall. And you can as the film goes on, though, you can see her becoming withdrawn, especially with knowing, her father, ain't coming home no time soon. So as she ages, it goes from a year after the dance and 3 years after the dance. So a year after the dance, she's still, talking to her father, but then you can still see that withdrawal and that breakdown in communication. Then as she turns 8, it just get a little worse. But her father is Keith. He definitely regrets, getting arrested, and he wished he had, spent his last moments, with Aubrey, because he really, wish he could be on the outside with her because she's growing up, she's saying a lot, she's doing a lot, and he want to be a part of it. But he can't because he in jail. And later on in the end of the documentary, he's sentenced to 10 years. And like I said, you could see the withdrawal that is there between her and her father's relationship. Okay, next up we have Santana.
In prison when I was over here. The first time I ever seen her up close, it was on a jail visit over here. I had to see her through a glass. I couldn't even touch her, couldn't kiss her, couldn't hold her, couldn't play, couldn't do nothing. About one. So my first time hugging my daughter, when she hugged me and squeezed me so.
Yeah, now.
You know, definitely can't wait for mom to do it again. Show the first.
Yeah. I can't wait for you to come home.
I would tell him that I'm sick of seeing myself cry because the stuff that you do, and it wasn't my decision, it was your decision to make and not mine. So next, when you get out of jail, next time you go back in jail, you're not going to even share one single tear.
And I want to say I was a mix of Aubrey and Santana when I was younger, because I was so, angry at my father. Like, why you not around? You my father. Like, why is you not there? Like, but yeah, I was a mix of Aubrey and Santana in the fact that I was smart, but I was still, rough around the edges because I was so angry because my father wasn't there. But next we see Santana. She's 10 years old. She feels like she has to pick up the slack for her absent father because her father not there. So you can tell like you can really tell her mom. And we meet the moms, and I meant to tell y'all the mother of Aubrey, she seems like she got her life, situated somewhat together just to be able to take care of Aubrey in such a great manner or whatever. But Santana's mom is a whole nother story. She was 13 when she had Santana, and her father was like 15 or 16 when they had Santana. But you can tell the interaction between Santana and her mother. It seems like almost like Santana is the mother and her mother is the child, because her mother just seems so real childish or childlike, because I don't know, she just really seems so young-minded, and it's just like somebody of her age shouldn't just be acting like that. And it just seemed like she stopped growing. When she had Santana at 14, that's where she stopped growing at. And she hasn't mentally, reached the stage of, what it's like to act like an adult. So, like I said, from my notes, I said her mom seems very childlike as well, in a sense where she is very cruel to Santana at times, because in the documentary, you catch her saying, "I'm your mother," and then she quickly say, "Oh no, I'm not." And then Santana is like, "Yeah, you is my mother." And then her mother say, "Well, no, I'm not your mother. You adopted." Who tells their child that? She was very young when she had her, and still has that immaturity about her, which was what I was saying. Like, she real childlike in the mind. And Santana also, they're in the laundromat, washing clothes or whatever. And Santana say, "I'm the dad while my dad is gone." Or she say something like, "My dad ain't around, so I'm the dad." But you could tell like she used to taking care of her younger siblings. And I think she have 2 younger siblings at this time. But you could tell like she used to be or have gotten to the stage where she done seen a lot, done grew up hearing a lot. So she's very mature for a 10-year-old to be able to, talk to her mother about certain things, and then to talk to, it's like she the parent and they the kids. I swear that's the dynamic that I'm getting. And you could tell, that there's some bitterness there behind her, possibly having to take care of her younger siblings, because it's really like, I'm never going to be a mother. I don't care if you give me $1 million. I will never be a mother. Never in a million years will I be a mother. So, and then we have Jay on.
And I ain't seen her in 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. But I called like 2-3 times. I was mad about just because I wanted to tell her happy birthday. Father's Day I called. I ain't getting in contact with her. No, I haven't even talked to her since. But people say they saw the pictures and stuff like that for my birthday. And stuff. My time will come when I talk to her.
You're saying my father behind bars.
You want to tell me your song in a minute? You want to tell me your song in a minute? For Jayana. So I was like, I'm not doing it. Why do you want to bond with her while you're incarcerated? When all this time you had out here, you didn't even really want to be bothered with her. Y'all, just because you outside. I'm here to hold her, to try to console her and talk to her. So since you don't see that and you don't feel that and you think it's okay, well, don't call her, don't come around. Just leave us alone.
Frank talks about, him and Jayana's relationship as it being like very, very strained because of the fact that he didn't know that she even existed until she was about 3. And then it's like her mother just cut basically all ties with Frank, because she was like, well, since you ain't want nothing to do with her, when you was out, like, why contact her in jail? Just leave us alone. We good over here, So he haven't spoken to his daughter in a while, and he really, really looking forward to this father-daughter dance. Little do he know, so is Jayana. But Jayana, she's 11. She does not remember anything about her father. But her mother is just stuck on this. She don't want Jayana to see him behind bars. And so I feel like Jayana's mother is really, really bitter. Really, really bitter about, how their relationship is. So she's going to, throw every wrench in the book, in their father-daughter relationship because of how she feel about Frank. I feel as though, she got to let that go, because that's the only way that Jayana is actually going to form a relationship with Frank is if she get out the way. She got to get out the way and let them have their own relationship. Yeah, y'all relationship might not have ended good or whatever. Yeah, y'all, y'all might not be on the best terms, but let that girl have a relationship with her father. Like, that's her relationship with her father. And then if she found out that her father is, ain't the best dude or whatever, or she just don't want to deal with him, like, let her decide that. Don't let your decision be her decision, basically. But you can definitely tell the way in which Jayana acts, at the dance, and also after that, you can tell, like, Jayana mother, like, been, saying little slick stuff and sly stuff out her mouth or whatever about her father around her. Because all that, are you working now? Is you changing? Like, that just seemed like questions that an older person would ask an adult. Like, it just seemed like something that came from her mother. Raziah is the last girl mentioned in the film. She's the oldest as well. She's 15.
It don't feel like home. Like, it don't feel right. It just don't feel right. Like, I don't know. I come in here sometimes
wanting to talk to him, tell him about my day, and remember, he's not here. And she very, very, very much longs to see her father. She says her home doesn't feel like a home anymore because he's not there. She look forward to, coming home and talking to him about her day, and he not there. So, and then it has led to her mother saying, she had SI thoughts or whatever, and she thought about unaliving herself at times because her father wasn't there. But then later on in the film, like a year or 3 years later, you do see her, graduate or whatever from high school. But then you also see the fact that her father was sentenced to 30 years. And what I ain't tell y'all, Jayana, her father ended up getting out. And Santana's father ended up getting out. But Keith and, I forgot the other dude's name, but Keith and Raziah's father, those are the only ones that ended up with sentences. So let me go back to the dance. Yeah, let me go back to the dance. So the dance is where the waterworks is really gonna get you. It's really, really gonna get you because you see the daughters, getting dressed, as well as you see the fathers getting dressed. They getting dressed in their suits, and for those couple of hours, 2 hours, 6 hours, what have you, they're not an inmate anymore. They just dad. So they in their suits and ties and dress shoes or whatever. So for the dance, moms not allowed. Only the daughters, so they can reconnect and connect with their dads for a genuine, connection. They're also allowed, like I said, to get out of the prison jumpsuit and wear a suit. It humanizes them. It humanizes them and makes their daughter see them for a little while as daddy and not an inmate. That was just so impactful for me as well because, my father being in jail and then him getting out and seeing him for the first time in a long time, it's like I had the opportunity of seeing my father, outside of jail or whatever, or outside of drug addiction, and it really does something to you. And like Angela Patton was saying, the dance also affords the inmates time and opportunity to touch their daughters that they are not afforded on regular jail visits. Because now, I don't know if you guys know this, but now in the jails, you gotta talk to your people on a computer screen. You don't get to physically go and touch them, go and hug them, go and sit, in front of them no more. It's no more of that. It's no more of that. Not even behind glass. Not even behind glass. So Angela Patton says the power of touch being so powerful that the dads nor the girls want to let go once it's all said and done. Once that dance was all said and done, the daughters was emotional wreck, and I'm pretty sure the fathers was emotional wreck as well. But oh my God, like this documentary is so powerful. So, if y'all haven't seen it, go watch Daughters. It is a very, very powerful documentary. And that's pretty much all I watch in the house. Documentaries on YouTube and stuff like that. But yeah, go watch Daughters. It's on Netflix now.